Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are starting all the way back at the beginning of the Torah. It's really, really exciting. All you have to do, if someone asks you questions about Parsha, pull out your Chumash, literally turn to the first page, and you're in it. Or like what I did, which is really a delight, really a fun thing to do. I pulled up Sefaria, Sefaria, my favorite site to use for Torah learning. You literally like Sefaria, Torah, Genesis 1, just like the very, very beginning. You don't even think about it. You're just like right at the beginning. It's just really exciting. The book of Genesis is different from the rest of the Torah. First of all, we have the story of creation right at the beginning. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. And in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And we have the whole story every day. You know, the land was gathered together, the vegetation, the animals, this and flying things and things in the sea. We get the whole story of creation. It's really poetic, beautiful telling. But again, it's very different from the rest of the Torah. We get very few mitzvot in the book of Bereshit. We get a lot of mitzvot in later books, in Vayikra, where we get, more than 50 mitzvot in a single parsha. It's just interesting. So what is the purpose of the book of Bereshit? The purpose of the book of Bereshit is to introduce our characters and to give us a model of ethics. So the characters that we get in this particular book of the Torah, we have Adam and Chava, we have Kane and Hevel, Cain and Abel. We have we have Noah. We have all of Noah's sons. We have Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph. We get all their wives, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel. We get all of them in this book of Bereshit. And they're not just one-dimensional characters that are just there for fun and that are perfect. There are very few perfect characters in the Torah, if we think about it. These characters are not one-dimensional. They have flaws. They have character traits that are interesting. They make mistakes. They do bad things. And for example, the first bad thing that happens in the Torah, subjectively, in my opinion, is that Cain kills Hevel. Cain and Abel, the children of Adam and Eve, first children. Cain kills Hevel, and Cain kills Hevel because he's jealous of how God responds to the offering that Hevel gives. So Cain is whatever. It's like a bad thing to do. You shouldn't kill someone. But Cain's lineage passes on, and the energy of Cain still remains in our bloodstream today. So Kabbalistically, there are two kinds of personalities paralleling Cain and Hevel. So the personality type that is like Cain is like strong and maybe a little bit hot-headed, but creative and makes things happen. And the personality of Hevel is someone who's a little more mild, a little more pleasant. And these personality traits exist in all of us. The line of Cain still exists because we need to have that energy in ourselves to continue the work. God doesn't just, give us this world that's perfectly formed. If we remember, we have the word tov a lot, and God saw that it was good. God saw that it was tov. The word is good. Good doesn't mean complete. Good doesn't mean finished. Good doesn't mean perfect and done. No, we would have had shalom. We would have mushlemet. We would have had all these different words, but we don't have those words. We have tov, which means that man's purpose on this earth is to be in partnership with God. Our first mitzvah, the first mitzvah of the whole Torah, is pru urvu, to be fruitful and multiply, because this earth exists. But if we don't do anything to till it, to take care of the soil, to put more people on the earth, to take care of the animals, to take care of the vegetation, it doesn't just exist on its own. That's why we have a purpose on the earth. That's why we have the Torah as an instruction manual, because we have jobs in this world. Whether or not we want to do them correctly or whether or not we do them right in the end is up to us. But in the end, it's our job to be partners in creation with God. So then another idea that I just love talking about is just to backtrack a little bit, is to go back to the story of Adam and Eve, of Adam and Chava. So when God creates a man, he says, and God says, let us make man in our image. Vayomer Elokim na'aseh Adam betsalmo, in our image. So this is why we have an idea that angels look humanoid, and we have the idea that God looks humanoid, because humans were made betsalmo, in the image of God. And who is God talking to? The angels that are around. That's based on our commentaries, what we learn. So then we talk about the very creation of man. So it's Vayvara Elokim et ha'adam betsalmo Elokim bara oto zachar unekeva. Okay, and God created et ha'adam, the Adam. Doesn't say just Adam, the Adam, et ha'adam, the Adam, betsalmo Elokim, in his image, in his image, the image of God. Bara oto, he created him. Zachar unekeva, Zachar male, unekeva and female, bara otam. So again, bara oto, and he created him, Zachar unekeva, male and female, he created them, bara otam. The word otam is plural. Who is them? We're talking about creating Adam. But if you noticed earlier when I said et ha'adam, this entity, this thing, It was zachar unekava. It was male and female. So it wasn't like we just have this creation of Adam and then we have Eve from his side later, or Eve from his rib later. No. In the very beginning, there was sort of like androgynous character with two faces, according to the Midrash, which equality, men and women were all created at the same time. And also, it's like a beautiful sort of symbolism idea about love, that everyone is created in origin. We have like these nice mystical ideas that everyone is created. They're created as two halves of a whole, and that they have to find their other half to become et ha'adam, to become truly human. Just a really beautiful idea. Yes, and then we have Adam comes into the earth. God blessed them and said, "Be fertile and multiply." Again, the first mitzvah, pru urvu, and to fill the earth and master it, to rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and all the living things that creep on the earth. And then it's Adam's job before Chava comes along, to till the earth. Again, the world isn't perfect. The world isn't done. We don't need to like just sit back and sip pina coladas. We're here to help and be partners in creation. And then, the world is created and heaven and earth, and on the seventh day, God rests. And so we get the idea of Shabbat. So then God blows life into the nostrils of et ha'adam, this sort of androgynous creature, and lets it, then each time after, it's referred to as et ha'adam, until we get to a point where God says, it is not good for man to be alone. Lo tov hayot ha'adam levado. It's not good for man to live alone. So then we have Ese lo ezer kenegdo. And so I will make a ezer, a helper, kenegdo. Kenegdo means like against or fitting. So an ezer kenegdo is a fitting partner, but a partner against. And this is, again, this sort of idea about these et ha'adam, these two creatures that fit together and that are only complete when they are together. And then when we talk about this ezer kenegdo, against, the helper against, that it's not that in the same way that we are partners, we are with the world, we need something against us. We can't just be out here again sipping pina coladas. We have a purpose in this world. So those are the ideas. Happy beginning of the Torah. Very, very exciting week. Shabbat shalom, and I hope to see you all next week.